Warning: the following video may be offensive to some viewers. Contents contain scenes of racism, sexism, coarse language, and ignorance. Viewer discretion is advised. The point of our video is not to promote or spread deplorable constructions of race or gender, but rather to use it as a tool to further our learning. Video footage selected for inclusion does not equal endorsements. We can all agree that racism and sexism are deplorable behaviors and dispositions. Yet we are seeing a trend today where the masses virtually tune into programming that display these types of behaviors. Wait, you don't agree? We will now be back after these bigoted messages.
Whoop-de-doo! What does it all mean, Basil?
Well, Austin, television has always had the capability to bring up contemporary cultural issues such as racism and gender inequality, parodied by the usage of stereotypes. But why is it okay for us to laugh at things that are said on TV that most people wouldn't dare say in public? And more importantly, why do people tune into programs regularly that feature sexist and racist content? Why is it okay to laugh at parody on TV, yet we condemn racism and sexism in real life? Introducing the third-person effect. According to Erica Scherer, communications professor at the University of Massachusetts, the third-person effect assumes that individuals believe that mass media is more likely to adversely affect others than the impacts it may have on themselves. Television has a habit of repeating stereotypes that are widely known and usually accepted. It often encourages us to laugh at these representations of stereotypes, using laugh tracks as a strategy of persuasion.
Why? What's wrong? If you want Black history, go back to Africa.
But what if showing negative stereotypes just reinforces negative stereotypes? Is this the most productive way to combat racism? At what point do we distance ourselves from the text? Can you turn off racism or sexism once you are removed from the text? In Cultural Representations and Signifying Practices by Stuart Hall, he believes on-screen text in television reduces people to a few simple, essential characteristics which are represented as fixed by nature, to ensure that they can be widely recognized and accepted. This strategy supports the opportunity to make the stereotype visible by means of parody, humor, and exaggeration. This counter strategy is quite challenging because parody involves the repetition of the stereotype, and with repetition comes a sort of maintenance rehearsal where the stereotype becomes widely accepted and embedded in culture.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Many media-related behaviors found on TV are generally regarded as undesirable. Thus, people might be inclined to attribute them to others rather than themselves. People often express feelings of guilt about their viewing habits. Some have voiced concerns that television viewing is often addictive. So what does this phenomena do for television viewership? It renders us into what is called the ironic viewer. According to Susan Douglas, irony means that you can look like you are not being seduced by mass media while absolutely being seduced by the media, wearing a knowing smirk. It allows viewers to feel superior not only to the cast members, but also to other viewers imagined to be less sophisticated than they are. But is this problematic, or is it just an innocent guilty pleasure? Does increased exposure to racist/sexist content in third-person effect lead to a course of action? This is important to note for future discussions. According to Richard Pirloff, he criticized most third-person effect studies for not measuring actual behavior. Only a handful of studies to date have examined this next step of the third-person effect to render whether such perceptions can potentially affect people's behavior. Obviously, there is a lot going on here besides the third-person effect, but it is interesting to consider if the third-person effect has facilitated any course of action.
Therefore, I believe in white supremacy.
To take Tiger on, well, yeah, maybe they should just gang up for a while until...
Lynch him in the back alley.
Yeah, that's right. And then
That's some rough girls from Rutgers, man. They got tattoos and some hardcore hoes. That's some nappy-headed hoes there, I'm going to tell you that now.
Not a black male, not a Chinese male with his eyes like this.
But Hispanics can't carry the whole load. The rest of you get busy. Make babies.
Well, Ed, is it one of these matters where the Kenyans and Ethiopians, they see, let's be honest here, see a white guy out front, they don't take him seriously?
What is Phnom Penh?
No, what is New Delhi? New Delhi. Yeah, it hurts to miss that one.
interested in trading with Al Qaeda. All they want to trade is burqas. I don't want to travel with them. They like one-way tickets.
China's like ching chong chong ching chong ching chong Danny DeVito ching chong 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 Gronk the View ching chong.
Kind of was stunned a second. Well, then get away from the door, nigga.
What a bogus infomercial. Just because I see examples of racism on television doesn't mean it affects my life.
Yeah, I watch racist stuff on TV all the time. I've never said anything racist in my life, and I never will.
Alright, you want a beer, you greasy Italian?
Sure, you hairy Portuguese immigrant.